All right, so in this video, um, I guess the first thing I want to start off by talking about is kind of essentially what's going on in trucking right now. There are a lot of things that owners, that independent truck drivers are dealing with right now. Like for the last few weeks, for the last few months, some of the truck drivers I've been talking to, they've been feeling it one way or the other, just because of everything that's going on in trucking right now. You know, fuel prices, that's probably one of the main things that's bottom line out of control right now in trucking. I
Yeah.
talked to a few of the guys out there where I park my truck at, and
Hmm.
it's funny, like, you know, they do different stuff. They don't pull the type of freight that I pull. But I've been hearing from guys that ain't much going on. And I've been hearing that from different people doing different things. I'm seeing a couple of the guys that I talk to out there where I park at. I'm seeing their trucks. One guy I'm thinking about right now, I kind of been seeing his truck every day for the last 2 weeks. So I know that he's running a whole lot less right now. I don't know. I talked to him a little bit about it. I don't know if it's because of, you know, he ain't able to get the rate that he want for moving his truck, or whether he just ain't been seeing enough volume of freight, enough stuff to pick from. I don't know which one it is. All I know is this truck been sitting a lot for the last few weeks.
Right. Right.
Um, so yeah, you know, truckers are dealing with a lot right now. So I guess I kind of want to start off with that subject. Like you
Hmm.
as somebody that's been in trucking for a long time, 30 years, you probably have seen firsthand some of the changes that have happened over in trucking over the last few years. What do you see as some of the things right now, the biggest issues is going on with trucking right now? Some of the biggest things that's, I guess you could say, essentially kind of like threatening the future of for owner operators in trucking.
Well, like you said, the main thing I see is the fuel prices. Outside of that, truck parking. Outside of that, it's really a little bit of a lack of respect for for truck drivers and like our position in this country. Uh, so that sort of thing is, trucking doesn't seem to carry the clout that it used to when I was younger, growing up, seeing, tractor trailer drivers and oh man, you stand on, throw your horn, we don't have that no more. So just get out the way, move, and that sort of thing. So you don't find as many people that admire the industry like I used to when I was younger. So to me, that's threatening the industry. A lot of people get into trucking now for the money, and trucking is a tough business if you get in it just for the money. If you don't love it, the majority of the majority of the aspect of trucking, if you don't love it, you may not survive. You may think to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I, I don't have to do this. It's plenty of the professions I may have could have gone into. I don't have to be out here risking my life to bring these people their freight. And I'm sitting outside a dock, 3, 4 hours waiting to get unloaded. I'll go do something else. So to me, that's kind of the thing that could possibly threaten trucking. To me, they're always gonna need trucks, but like I say, being at the job is not so easy. You might find people that may look for other avenues of income, especially if people, kind of start dipping into the stock market. Right now, the stock market is kind of down. So if you find people that kind of start getting,
Ain't no kinda about it.
well, it's down. If you find people that can kind of figure out that stock market, a lot of people start getting into that. When that stock market start coming back up, you might find a lot of truck drivers or people that's looking to get into trucking that might just say, nah, I don't think it's quite worth it.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm. Do you see fuel prices? I talked about that a minute ago. Do you see fuel prices, the trend? Nobody knows what the future is of fuel prices, but do you see that being something that could potentially threaten the future of owners, of being an owner of a truck, an owner operator of a truck? Or do you kind of see fuel prices, they probably gonna get back in line here within the next few months or whatever?
I possibly see is two things. I Being that you're owner operator, it's a lot of freight that company drivers don't fool with when it comes to trucking. dangerous things like, you don't see too many companies hauling mulch or pulling crushed cars or, pulling, rocks, big boulders and things of that nature. So owner operators may kind of have that niche kind of sold up, because if I'm a big company and I'm bringing in new drivers, I wouldn't want to keep putting new drivers on dangerous freight, especially flatbed freight. So, you know, if you if the United States will continue to move freight like that, then eventually the rates are gonna have to match the fuel. If you can't get enough drivers to haul that, that particular freight, like that, like I said, you'll get, your TMC, some of them guys, or they fool with motion, a little bit of dangerous stuff, but I don't think they're like chips and stuff. But I don't think you'll find them, coming into the market of chips and, logging and stuff like that. So
You don't think do you see that do you believe that there is an inevitable push towards electric? Like it's almost like it's like, I guess what I'm saying is, from what I can see, and feel free to straighten me out on this, it seems to be inevitable that it's going to electric. Trucking is going to electric.
Right. I see it, but I don't see it in my future. I may have another, say, 10 or 15 years in trucking, and I don't think it's going to come full force to where, within the next 10 or 15 years, where I'm going to have to buy an electric truck. So, some of the younger ones, but like I say, the younger generation that's coming in, they're going to have a different mindset. They're just going to be, oh, I got to drive an electric truck. Okay. Where is it? Let's go. I don't have that mindset. So I don't have to, be as concerned about the electric trucks as the next generation, because their mindset is going to be geared towards, hey, let's go.
I guess the reason I asked that question was because, and again, this is just something that I've been thinking, don't know if there's any validity to it at all. It would seem to me that if the trend is towards electric, that it may be possible that fuel prices are never going to be on the truckers' side anymore, because it's like the overall push is to get everybody onto electric anyway. And I kind of been thinking about this for a few years. I've just been thinking, it's like, it seems to me that it's inevitable that the cost of operating, we'll say a pre-emissions truck, just seemed inevitable that the cost of operating those kind of trucks are gonna go up. Like, they're gonna make it harder for people like me and you driving pre-emissions trucks to operate those trucks, because they ain't like we ain't trying to be friendly to y'all, because we want y'all to come off of diesel. That's kind of why I was asking about diesel and its relationship to, maybe jeopardizing the future of, even wanting to own a truck. Like who the heck want to own a truck if fuel is $7 to $8 a gallon, and the only other alternative to that is to get an electric? It would seem like that would be a big deterrent to even own the kind of trucks that we own and that we drive in out here.
Right. Again, like I said, I would think that we have to come to figure out whether or not electric trucks are going to be as durable as owner operators need them to be. You know what I mean? Company driver, you bag in box, you stand in clean areas, you ain't running heavy all the time, But like I say, you get an electric truck, is it going to stand up to hauling logs? Is it going to stand up to hauling bricks and chips and mulch and things of that nature over in woods and, cold weather? Is it going to stand up to all of that? You don't want to spend $150 or $200 or $250,000 on an electric truck that's only going to last you, say, 5 to maybe 10, maybe 15 years or whatever. I doubt very seriously if you get an electric truck to last you 15 years before you have to spend another $250,000 or whatever they cost, at the time, $300,000. If you got to continuously spend $300,000 every 5 to maybe 10 years on a truck, I can't see how the cost of that electric vehicle is going to match what you need done. You're going to see the prices of everything skyrocketing, because, hey, you need an electric truck, you need me to haul this stuff, I got to buy, a truck, $250,000, so I got to raise my rates. And if you find everybody raising their rates, eventually they go say, okay, well, this might not be what what we intended or whatever, So
one last question on this subject of things that could potentially be jeopardizing the future of trucking for owner operators anyway. Overall, do you feel that trucking is less profitable for owner operators now?
I guess it's a tough question because for some, it just is all in how you handle your it's all in how you handle your personal stuff. It's all in how I probably could make the same amount of money that I make now that I made 10 years ago, and be okay because I didn't let my bills, get out of hand over the years. So somebody else may look at the situation and be like, well, everything goes up, the cost of living goes up, so your rates should go up. Now my rates have gone up, but like I say, fuel prices have gone up as well. So yeah, it definitely it costs more to operate, but like I say, my rates have kind of gone up. Oh, definitely my rates have definitely gone up. So no doubt about that. So
I got you. I understand what you're saying. All right, so then I want to move on to kind of the next part of this, which with all of the stuff that is going on in trucking, it seems very important that truckers find a way to come together in some kind of way. Like, right. I mean, again, I might be wrong on this, but from what the way that I process it, like truckers don't really seem to stand a chance as individuals because it's like it's so many factors. It's so, kind of going back to the subject of the things that could potentially be jeopardized in the future for owner operators. Like when you hear them talk about the stuff like the fuel prices, the stuff like brokers, how I hear a lot. I don't work with brokers like that, but I'm working to understand how that works a little bit more. And I hear, it seems that I hear a lot of drivers saying that the brokers, I was listening to Smart Trucking, one of his videos yesterday, and he's like, the broker's job is to get the freight ran for as cheap as possible, And when I used to hear that, I didn't really understand that. I'm like, that don't make sense. That don't seem like that's a good business strategy, right? The only thing, only you looking for trucks to move freight as cheap as possible. That don't seem like it's a good business strategy unless you got a monopoly on the freight. All right, unless you're able to control so much more freight. So I'm like, well, maybe that's kind of what he meant when he said that, brokers, they trying to get, their objective is to get the load moved for as cheap as possible. Again, that's not a good strategy for a person like me or you, but for somebody that is cornering the market, that's a great strategy. But again, like the individual truck driver don't stand a chance against that if that's what he's up against, and all of the other factors, all of the other avenues and categories and trucking that essentially, they own the same page, and it seems like the only ones in that's not on the same page is truckers. So it seemed to me that it's inevitable that if a person wants to be able to, if a trucker wants to be able to hold on to any of the remnants of trucking that they enjoy, truckers gonna have to find a way to fight as one and to speak together as one. But the efforts that have, well, let me ask you this instead of saying that. What's your opinion on the efforts that have already happened, strikes, protests, or whatever other efforts are out there to organize truckers? Are those effective? And if not, why not? What's your thoughts on that?
I guess it's hard to say whether or not they have been effective because I don't know what condition trucking would be in had drivers not been on strike, or whatever truckers have done in the past and stop taking whatever freight they're taking. I don't know what condition truckers have, what condition trucking would be in. But the only thing I do know is right now, it just seems like to me that the ones that can make the law and pull the strings don't have much respect for truckers and what position truck drivers hold, because even with that strike that just happened when they drove up to DC, that was a few months ago, and now they're saying, oh, we're gonna limit your speed limit, your speed limit on everybody. We're gonna cut trucks back to 60 to 65 miles an hour. And I'm like, had the strike done anything, it seemed like it would have been a cool down period. Like, okay, let's just leave truck drivers alone for a little
let's
bit.
not
Let's
mess
just,
with them at all for a while.
let's just, let's just, fuel prices jacked up. Let's just okay, just keep that name out of our mouth for a little while, and let's just let it ride. Maybe we'll come back next year and let's talk. But they right back immediately. We're gonna cut your truck back now, and I'm like, well, apparently ain't enough. So, my thing is it's time to figure out something. We gotta do something. So
yeah, man. I again, my personal thoughts on that subject, at least up until now, has been like, as much as it's needed for truckers to unite, like, I don't think truckers are ever gonna unite to the degree that they need to. But I mean, I don't really have any opinions as to why. It just seems like that the environment, it just don't encourage unity amongst truckers,
Yeah, I think most people are surviving. Most people are waiting it out. Most people are, trimming down their bills at home. A lot of truck drivers, when I was coming up, a lot of the successful truck drivers, as far as what I saw, had wives. They were most were married. So they had wives that kind of take care of bills around the house when things got rough, motor went down, transmission went out, a lot of ones that I saw surviving, were married. So if you could, a lot of people, I guess, plan on weathering the storm, but to me, that is not why you run a business. That's not why you start a business, not to, shave down or slim down what you have. To me, you run your business so you can have a little freedom, have more, maybe more than what a job may offer you, not to have the same thing a job offer you or less than what a job will offer you. So, truck drivers got to, figure out a way to say, hey, it's time to, we got to turn this trend around. We got to get this ball rolling in the opposite direction. Let people come to the table and say, okay, what do you guys need? What can we do to help? What position, if I hold a position, what can I do to, kind of see, if I can assist in some sort of way. But it's almost with trucking, it's like us against the rest of the world down there, So
yeah, like I said, it seemed to me that the only way that truckers are ever going to get heard in that manner, in any real way to hear them, like truckers are all online, complaining about stuff now. But like I said, the only way I feel that for truckers to really be heard is the we talk about Asian Mize channel all the time. I mean, channels like his and platforms like his for truckers are extremely important, because it don't seem to me that truckers have that many effective ways of communicating as one. And so it's something that everybody knows. People inside the trucking industry and outside of the trucking industry all notice. They all talk about the power that truck drivers potentially have. Everybody knows, like nothing happens if truckers aren't moving, right? So it would seem that if truckers can figure out a way to get themselves together and get on one page, people have to listen. Like, if they ain't got to listen to no other group, they got to listen to the people that's moving free, across the country. Well, yeah, I mean, I would assume if they could unite successfully.
Yeah,
I would say it's all kind of based on that. They gotta find a way to move as one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Like I said, my thinking was, when you hear the word strike or whatever, did you want to go down that avenue?
Let's go.
All right. So my thinking was, when I hear the word strike, right, trucker strike or whatever, it doesn't necessarily hit home, because strike is such a, I hear about them striking out in California, or I hear about them striking up in Canada, or they may strike over in Japan or wherever, So I would think that if most people like me, if you comfortable and you kind of waiting it out or whatever, and you thinking, okay, this ain't gonna last, like I said, with fuel prices or whatever, truck parking, I've been, fairly fortunate with truck parking. I purchased the home, with the intentions of parking my truck here in my yard. But, the county, told me I couldn't do that. And I actually had to end up paying a fine for having my own truck in my yard, which I pay personal property tax to have the truck registered here, but I can't keep it here, So now I got 2 trailers sitting up at the truck stop that's taking up spots that, truck drivers that run the road could actually be using. But, now for whatever reason, I can't keep them here. I got to keep them at the truck stop. So my proposal was to just say, if you're an owner operator or company driver for that matter, if you don't like what's going on, and you want to find a way to participate, what truck drivers could do is just take a vacation. Like I said, when I was thinking of the word strike, it doesn't, hit me like, like it needs to, if a strike would be everybody done shut down, nothing's moving, grocery stores ain't getting nothing, people standing on bridges protesting, you might, hear about bricks being thrown and this and that, and people flattening tires. That don't necessarily happen around this area. So like I say, if you want to participate and you want to figure out what to do, everybody just take a vacation. Sometime 2023, just shut them down for 1 to 2 to maybe 3 weeks if you can stand it. Just everybody just everybody plan pick a particular week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks out of a particular month and just go on vacation. And then let guys that have a voice and can direct what needs to happen with trucking, let those guys be heard. Those guys who have the channels or the voices or the podcasts or whatever they may have to say, look, this is what we want. This should get their attention. We need parking. We need situations where counties maybe provide parking or whatever it may be. Fuel prices, I'm sure, would probably come down automatically if ain't nobody moving. But like I said, to me, that would be easy for me to do, because most truck drivers are going to take a vacation. I'm going to take a vacation next year. So if everybody,
I ain't planning on going on strike next year, but I'm damn sure we'll take a vacation.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if everybody just say, you know what, I'm gonna take a vacation. I hear about the truckers taking a vacation this particular month. Let me do a little research. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they say they're gonna take a vacation. And everybody just park, just shut them down. Now it's kind of a double-edged sword though, because if owner operators shut down and these companies figure out that, okay, you know what, y'all shut down and nothing happened, we still got our freight covered, we don't need y'all, you know what I mean?
That's a problem.
Then that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So I'm thinking though, if you get as many people as possible to shut down, like I said, you ain't got to go out and bust tires and flat tires and steal fuel and do nothing like that. If enough people just say we just gonna park them, and like I say, then maybe it might be enough for somebody of an important role to say, we hear y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Look, the grocery store, we need somebody to come haul this, whatever this stuff y'all been hauling, whatever y'all been hauling. We hear you now. So that's kind of what I'm thinking might be the solution. I'm gonna take a vacation. Like I said, most truck drivers probably don't take a vacation. I'm thinking, you plan it and give everybody enough time to kind of, get their money together, because like I said, you might have to be off a week or 2 or 3 weeks. Or a week may not be enough. You know what I mean? Because, if the companies hear about owner operators shutting down, they pretty much gonna plan for it. Okay, we ain't shutting shipping nothing that week. 2 weeks, they're gonna be like, okay, all right, we found a few owner operators, but that third week, something gonna have to give, So that's kind of the way I see maybe things can possibly get done, But that even with that would take some organization, it would take a voice,
Yeah. It sounds like it would. I can definitely see that it would take some coordinated effort. Like I'm
Definitely.
thinking maybe just right off the top of my head, like have like each quarter have a two. You said 2 weeks. You don't think will be long enough, but maybe a specific 3 weeks, or maybe even
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks every quarter. That like okay, like those that want to take a vacation in the April, May, June quarter. These are
Mm-mm.
these are the weeks that we're gonna do the
Nah,
the
nah, nah, nah,
vacation. No, don't do it like that.
nah, nah. 3 weeks out of next year, everybody's shutting down. Because if you leave it to different quarters, then the ones that's saying, okay, this ain't my time to take a vacation. I'm gonna get out there and make some money because the rates gonna go up because they can't find trucks here. They can't find trucks there. So I'm gonna get out there. The rates was $1.50, $2 on this run. Now they $4, $5. I'm gonna cover that load. If everybody shut down, then something gonna have to get done. But man, I'm telling you, if you leave it up to the quarters, this y'all do it down, and then y'all this group do it. Shoot, if it ain't my turn, and I see the rates going up because they ain't got, I'm going to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what the people that's trying to move the freight, there ain't nothing gonna happen with them. While we move, we had to pay a few more dollars, but who cares?
Do you see
And then
this?
next,
Go
hmm?
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then next quarter, somebody else shutting down. Guess what? I'm still gonna get my freight moved because these guys. Then sooner or later, the ones that have been shutting, they be like, "Darn, I shut down for nothing."
I was
What I
about to
shut
ask
down
you
for?
on that subject. Do you see that this? Do you feel that this could be somewhat successful without 100% buy-in? And when I say 100%, I don't really mean 100%. We know nothing is 100%, but I mean
Yeah, yeah,
without does this something where it pretty much requires full participation to really have any meaning behind it? In other words, if 60% of the truckers shut down and those other 40% just say, yo, well, I'm going to eat good for this week or 2 or 3 that those truck drivers is off, then it kind of renders the whole efforts, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
yeah.
almost, yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? Does it require major buy-in for it to get the effect that you would want it to have, but you think it could have, I should say?
Absolutely. As many owner operators, company drivers. If you working for a company that ain't taking care of you, that's shorting your miles every week, y'all. I'd be tired of that. I'd be like, I'm going on vacation. I'm going, you know what I mean? And just like I said, get people's attention. So you need as many people as possible. And that means if you sit back and you say, should I participate? I mean, like I say, you're going to take a vacation. So you might as well participate,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if you, like I say, if you've ever been held at a dock 4 or 5 hours, think back to how frustrated you were. You ever been broke down on side of the road with your company for 6 or 7? Think about how frustrated you were, and let that kind of motivate you to say, you know what, it's time to do something. I'm tired. I'm tired of, the disrespect. I'm tired of things being the way they are. You know, we need to be heard.
Mm-hmm,
We
mm-hmm,
need to let people know. We really, like I say, really, I don't think people really know the importance of truck drivers. I don't
mm-hmm.
think I think people really feel like they still gonna get the things that they need if truck drivers, you know,
Stop.
ain't around, ain't stop. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm,
I just that's how I feel. I think people really feel like they still gonna get everything taken care of. So,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Um, I can see that being something effective. What would you say would be the ideal outcome? You touched on it a minute ago, but what would you say would be an ideal outcome if this was to go down?
well, fuel prices, I'm sure, would have to come down if ain't nobody buying fuel. I don't think these people with these truck stops will sit there owning fuel and just be like, okay, we just gonna keep the price at what is that. I mean, they may can afford to. I'm not sure, but I would think that would be one thing that would happen. And then, like I said, we would just have to come to the table and say what we want. My situation may be different from somebody else's situation who's in Texas or California. You know, the things that I need over here they may not need in other areas of the country. So the major outcomes would, like I say, would vary from state to state or region to region or whatever. So my thing is, like I say, I would like to be able to park my truck in my yard. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I don't have any neighbors around me. You know what I mean? I'm sitting on 3 acres over here. You know, put me a nice little road in over here where I can back my tractor trailer at 2 spots over in here. You know, no neighbors. This gentleman up here, he got a 6-wheel in his yard. This gentleman over here, he got a container in his yard. Nobody said nothing about that. But for whatever reason, they don't say something about my tractor trailer in the yard, you know. So, right now they kind of leave it up to, well, if nobody calls in, then we don't have, we may not have an issue. But that's a little bit unfair because for whatever reason, you might have a person that may not like me or like the color of my skin that may decide, you know what, I don't want him parking the truck over in the yard. But like I say, with this gentleman, he's of a different complexion. His container is okay, but my tractor trailer is not. So to me, if they relax the laws for now, like I say, because truck parking is an issue, and they just looked around and said, okay, look at each individual situation, because some people say, well, they're not going to look at each individual situation. But I'm like, they are going to look at each individual situation, because if somebody calls in, the county is coming out here. So to me, if the county comes out here, kind of look around and evaluate and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna see if I'm gonna get over here real quick and show you where my truck is usually parked at. But if you come out and look and say, okay, he's back over in the corner, the truck ain't really bothering nobody. You really can't even see the truck because it's over in the woods. That would provide parking.
Some other OTR regional person.
So I had my parked over here, and I would come down this road here, come down the road, cut up in there, and back over in here, And like I say, I don't have any neighbors outside of that. So, that's what I would be, fighting for. And I'm pretty sure there's other drivers in my same situation, Another thing that kind of is irritating me is up in Virginia, up northern Virginia, that left lane, they're going to shut that down to tractor trailers, which is crazy because every day I go up there, I see 2 trucks sitting side by side running 70 miles an hour. Well, backing up behind them, which to me is dangerous because now you're getting cars or 4-wheelers that's, people that's frustrated, that want to come running 100 miles an hour to get past you, whatever. And that's, to me, rather dangerous. So I would say, that's one thing I would be saying is, just at least allow people or trucks who can pass to pass. Just go ahead, pass and get back over. We see you, we see what's going on. We ain't gonna write you a ticket, So those are 2 of my things. Like I said, along with truck parking, the left lane in Virginia, and fuel prices. See, those are my issues over here. So, like I said, I don't know what they're doing maybe in North Carolina or South Carolina, what issues they may have down that way. But like I said, we all shut down and let those issues get addressed in those different particular areas. Representatives come out and talk to the truck drivers, talk to the community and say, hey, what's going on? What y'all need? Maybe we can get somewhere,
Yeah. But that's, again, I get it. It doesn't really matter what your gripe is in trucking. Don't even matter whether you are owner or a company driver. If you got a gripe, this is potentially a way. This is potentially a way to get your gripe heard. This is a potentially a way to get heard.
Exactly. Even if you don't have a gripe, even if you're comfortable, you're gonna take a vacation.
Yeah.
So take that vacation along with the rest of the truck drivers, and maybe even if you think you don't have a gripe, even your situation may come out better than what you got now. you know, instead of you showing up, you know, to your receiver or whatever, and they looking at their watch and saying, well, what time and what you supposed to be here today? You know, instead of you hearing that, they may say, oh, welcome, Mr. Johnson. Oh, man, we were waiting on you, man. Come on, go ahead back here, such that we got you, man. You know, glad to see maybe coffee in the room, you got donuts over there. Hey, you can sit in the break room, you know, that sort that you might get that welcome, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
You got to find a way
yeah,
to
so
hire. You got to find a way to hire shipping clerks and receiving clerks that got some people
yeah,
skills.
exactly,
That seemed to
exactly.
be the only way to get around that one right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yep. Another issue that I don't know if it's an issue now because I look, you know, I hauled produce from time to time, whether it's watermelons or whatever, you know. That old go sit out in your truck and we'll call you on your CB radio when we're ready for you. To me, I don't know if they still do it. I'm pretty sure they do because I don't see why they would have changed it. But that needs to be dealt with. You know, they should have somebody when you go knock on the door, say, hey, I'm here. My appointment is in an hour or 2 hours or whatever. They should have somebody that just come out, knock on the driver's door and say, hey, go back in such and such door. Because I know when I was, you know, making those deliveries like that, all those food places, I'd have to sit there and listen to my CB for hours, hours. If you nod off, you wake up, hey, they call such and such yet? They call me yet? No, driver, they ain't call you yet. Okay, then you know, you sit back and you wait some more. You know, then another hour or two, you might nod off again. Then you wake up, they call such and such, you know. That need, you know, they should tell the driver, look, boy, they get you some steep. We'll send such and such out there. You know, he ride out on the golf cart. What truck you in? What's your truck number? Or you be parked in space such and such. We'll knock on your door till you go back in whatever door, you know, you get back. Like I said, I don't haul produce. I pull flatbed now. So, you know, that was one reason I got away from fooling with food and produce and things of that nature, because that was like, I was like, I can't believe that people do this for a living every day. Listening on the CB. Wait, you call me yet? You call me yet? You know, like I said, that's an easy solution. You know, we send somebody out to get you when we're ready for you to back in your door, whatever. So, like I said, like I said, like it's gonna be issues all over the country. You know, different issues all over. Like I don't know what people are going through, all over in different areas, or whatever. But to me, like I said, a trucker vacation will solve a lot of issues. You know, it should if we can get enough people to do it. Like I say, if you're gonna take a vacation, like I say, everybody get together, you know, maybe even create a website to decide or determine what would be a good month to take a 1 or 2 or 3 week vacation in. And I ain't gonna say I guarantee it, but I would hope that that would get some results. Some results, you know. When them shelves start getting, because people panic when them shelves start getting empty, you know, that sets in panic. So that would be my solution
And
to it. So.
you willing to play with that?
What, take a vacation?
Nah, people's shelves being empty. That's in your
No.
hands. You willing to play with that? When you said that a minute ago, I don't know, but for some reason I just thought of how Putin been dealing with this nuclear joint. It's like keeping everybody on edge with threatening them with nuclear joint. And it sounds like what you're saying just now, keep everybody on edge with threatening them with empty shelves.
Well, I mean, if it's
I'm just
enough,
joking, but
I understand that. But if it's enough to, when I show with my truck, you happy to see me instead of, you know, you don't want to see me. You wonder, well, what time you supposed to be here today? Like, I'm just saying, man, you know, things need to be done. And so far, the things that we have done to try to correct the things that's going on in trucking, you know,
the problem still exists.
They still exist. And the people just pop up and do what they want to do whenever they get ready. Hey, yeah, we're gonna invent this new bill. Y'all got to pay the UCR thing. Y'all got to pay that. We got hit last year before last corridor tax. Yeah, gonna pay that corridor tax. I'm like, what's it for? It's a corridor tax. It's gonna pay it. You know, if you don't pay it, we ain't gonna renew your tags, license, whatever. They can do that anytime they get ready. Gonna pay that. Yeah. We're just 100%. Gonna invent this. Next thing you know, you paying something. And you can afford to pay it, you know, but it's taking money off of your plate that for whatever reason, they just feel like they can do it whenever they get ready.
That's the definition of nickel and diming somebody.
Nickel and dime you
That's
to
what
death.
it is. That's what you just described.
Yes, indeed. Insurance going up, fuel going up, truck price. I think a truck price is $250,000. How many business could you start for $250,000? Now we ain't talking the fuel that got to go to the new truck. That's probably another 100,000. We ain't talking insurance. That's another 20 or 30,000. You're probably talking $500,000 just to run that. But what other business could you get going for, say, $500,000? We ain't talking trailer. We ain't talking parking. I mean, how much other stuff could you do? I see people, they got little mom and pop little stores, and they come into work in the morning, they turn their little key and go in. And I know most people are saying, well, why don't you go operate one of them businesses then? My father was a truck driver. I happen to be a truck driver. So this is the profession that I chose. And I enjoy driving truck. I really do. I enjoy driving, so can't see myself going to do, a mom if I definitely can't sit in no office. Good Lord. So, but I would have
or go deal with no people or no customer service or nothing like that.
No, Lord. I do the little bit of people I deal with now, boy. I feel you. If I had to do this every day, boy, man, I need counseling, boy. So yeah.
I really would like to know what the trucker community in general feels about this, right? So like I'm speaking to now anybody that might be potentially watching this video at this point. Like right now it's November 2022. And we just talking about what we have come to call TruckerVaca2023, but I would really like to know what anybody you watching this video think about what is being talked about here. Like all truck drivers are going to take a vacation. Most truck drivers have some sort of gripe, like he's saying, even if a trucker don't have a gripe, like join in and support the community, join in, support your profession in general. And if it could figure out a way for everybody to just coordinate around a vacation, like I said, not popping nobody tires or throwing bricks and nobody standing on the bridge protesting, all of that may have its place, but like this don't have the same negative connotation as that. Like you said, I highly doubt it that there's anybody that's not gonna take a vacation next year. It's a matter of just coordinating it, So I would really like to know what anybody listening to this video at this point thinks about what he's saying. Let me know down in the comments, no matter at what point it is that you watch this video, that you see this video. We're gonna be keeping up with the comments and what you guys have to say in regards to again what we're gonna call Trucker Vacay 2023. Let us know whether you'd be willing to support it. Let us know whether you think it's something that could be effective. Just let us know your opinion on that. We're gonna keep checking on these comments. Let's come into the video.
It's a funny thing, man, because every time I mention it to somebody, say, yeah, man, we ought to get together, truck a vacation, cause strike and this and that, and people just kind of drift on off, like, I was talking to somebody the other day, yeah, man, we could do a trucker vacation, and it was kind of like, yeah, man, because I want to take a vacation, man, because I was thinking about going to Florida. They got some good fishing down there, and I'll take my boat on down there, and me and the wife will hang out and whatnot, and then I might come on. I might just take, I'm like, are we going to talk about trucker vacation? We're going to talk about your wife and your boat and your fishing and whatnot.
Can you see it? It's right there. Don't move your shirt because it's right there. Yeah.
Right, I got it. Yeah. So, so I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, maybe it's some point that I'm missing, but in my mind is clear. Like I say, I'm gonna take a vacation. If everybody else happen to be taking a vacation at the same time I'm taking a vacation, and like I say, those voices out there that know what truck drivers need and can, especially the ones that can do something about it, especially the lawmakers that can do something about it. Like I said, with my truck, like I said, my thing is, like I said, my truck being in the yard. If my truck was parked in the yard, the people that have an issue with it would say, okay, I'm gonna call in. Hey, this driver got his truck parked in the yard. If the county said it's okay for him to park his truck in the yard. Those people would say, "Oh, it is? Oh, okay, well, okay, I just figured I'd call, let you know. Okay, I'm gonna go on about my day then. They property's not gonna lose no value. They ain't gonna lose no sleep. They're not gonna move. Life goes on, you know. Just like with me, like the gentleman up on the corner here, they got dogs. Up on the other corner, they got dogs. Over on that corner over there, they got dogs. When I walk up the street, them dogs come to the fence like they want to tear me limb from limb. But guess what? I gotta deal with it. Why? Because the law say, hey, as long as they're in the fence, they ain't bothering, they can't get to you. You gotta deal with it. Do I want dogs barking at me every time I walk up the street? No, I don't. I don't. It don't necessarily bother me. But you know, if my granddaughter was here, I'm pretty sure she would be. You know, I'd be concerned for her. You know, so it ain't nothing, not necessarily nothing that I want, but I'm okay with. You know, so I feel like the same way about truck parking. If a truck in the yard, like I said, one young lady, she used to walk down here and see the truck. And I'm not sure if she's the one that called in, but I do notice that now that I can't keep the truck here no more, I don't see her walk down here no more. So, um, that's my point, man. You know, we can do better. We can do better. I know we can do better, you know. So whether or not, you know, when I can say when I went to court, you know, the judge was pretty much like um he's not there to change the law, he's there to uphold the law. So hey, you got the truck in the yard, pay this ticket, we'll see you later, you know. So I don't talk to the county guy that's here and he said we looking into it, but you know, my father had a problem with parking 30 years ago. So for past 30 years, ain't nothing get fixed with truck parking. So, you know, back, you know, you used to could counter park at the truck stop, but you know, around this area, you know, Kings and Mean area, they don't stole quite a few tractor trailers over here. So do I want to keep leaving my truck at the truck stop taking chances? I really don't, you know. But hopefully it won't happen. But I'm pretty much a sitting duck at this point. So but anyway, man, hope something comes of it, you know. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah.